Hello everybody, it's Zen, and I'm going to be doing another book review. Yay! Now I'm going to be doing a book that Stephen King wrote called Stand, The Stand. If you can see it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. This is the largest book King has ever written, easily. Right next to me, I've got, It, which people think might be larger, but it's not larger. I mean, it looks larger, it does, but that's because it's meant to look large. This is the uncut edition of The Stand, and it has been condensed, and the pages are the thinnest things ever. You can like see right through the page. They're absolutely thin, whereas that's very good quality. I don't hate that about this. It's very small. I can bring it with me. That I couldn't bring anywhere. But this one took me 2 months to read. It took me a long time because it's about 1,400 pages, whereas it is only 1,100. In length, The Stand, I know it's longer just because of the word count. Word count's about 440,000, whereas it is about 420,000 maybe. But I know The Stand is the longest book he has ever written, just because how long it took me forever. I've done some research, so I know that that's true. The Stand is basically the first apocalypse story ever. The first big apocalypse story ever. We know now that that books are saturated with apocalypse story, like the world is ending by a giant flu that killed everyone. But this is before that, so he was one of the first people to put that out, and that's why a lot of people look at it and be like, "Oh, that's so cliche." But he's the one who basically created that cliche because it was so widespread. So, The Stand is about a flu that gets out of the train, out of a virus, flu, whatever, that gets out of the government's control because one guy left and he spread it to everyone. And it just spread, and everyone's dying now. Everyone's dying. I think it's only 0.1% of the population, or 0.01% of the population. It's a very small amount of people are still alive, and what they need to do is get together, because in their dreams they dream of meeting this woman, Abigail something, Mother Abigail, and they all dream of meeting Mother Abigail, and they all go to Mother Abigail. Now the main plot of the story is how they live on after they all come together and they all try to form a society. So it's the societal aspect. It's so technical because they create a government and they fix houses, blah blah blah, and they're trying to recreate society, which is so interesting because I think we've got like 10 characters in this book that we need to keep track of. I didn't keep track of it at the beginning, but eventually they're just in my brain. It's so good. Like Stu Redman, Glenn, we've got the lawyer, what's his name? Yeah, the judge, people like that. They're so cool. There's so many characters, and they're so different. They're so three-dimensional that it's very interesting to see. There's also, other than Mother Abigail, there's Randall Flagg. So some people dream of Mother Abigail, others dream of Randall Flagg. Depending on what kind of person you are, if you're a good person, you'll go that way. If you're a bad person, you'll go to Randall Flagg, who's drawing all the evil people over. Now, we don't know what's going on over there that much. We only have 1 or 2 characters that are over there. So we don't know too much about that. But it comes to a point where they're too big and they're kind of getting worried about the other group coming over and destroying them. So they need to figure out a way to solve that. No spoilers, don't worry, I'm not going to go further than that. But that's pretty much the premise of the story, the plot. Now, it's very interesting because of how many characters we have. We have them dealing with children, with old people, with God. We have them dealing with the Randall Flagg, and then we have them dealing with the Trash Can Man, who's he's my favorite character, period. He's awesome, but you won't know anything about him because if I say anything, it'll spoil, because he's awesome. Just go with that, right? I'm not gonna tell you more. The Stand is an awesome book. It's so comprehensive. It's so well written because he doesn't skip anything. There's no skipping any part of the trail. He takes us through every step of the way. He takes us through all the evil people on the radios and television that are killing people on the television just because they're crazy. We take through guys that have like captured people and are just holding them. We have tons of people. They're absolutely everywhere. We see how humanity reacts in this situation. There is one, I think it's Glenn, who is a sociologist. He is the one that dissects how society will evolve and how these people will react. And they all get together, they all do that kind of stuff. I think that this is a very, very good book. My only thing is, I think that as much as it was very long, it was very well written, and I liked all of it. I think that you could have condensed it, which is what a lot of people hate me saying, and they say don't condense it, but I think it's way too long. As much as this is a very interesting book and it's very comprehensive, I think a bunch of it needs to be removed. They take a lot of steps in between getting from their houses to Abigail, and they do all that, and I think just the initial portion of that needs to be cut. The point before they meet Abigail, a bunch of that needs to be cut, because there's a lot of characterization there that I think is already present at the end of the book. So if you go through the book, it's already there, so you don't really need it that much. Yeah, that's pretty much the plot, and that's my thoughts. So I would give it a 4.5, because length is not an issue for me. Length is, as much as it's kind of a problem, it's not the biggest problem ever. So I would still give it a 4.5, because there is something wrong with it, and I mean, I don't want him to fix it, but it's just like that's one thing that is wrong with it, but I don't want you to fix it because it's so perfect as it is. But there is an issue. You understand what I feel if you've read the book. It's really, really good. I would, rate it 4.5. I would recommend it to people who have a lot of time on their hands and are ready to read a really comprehensive book, because it makes you care about the characters. It's huge. It's so very, very condensed already. It's very fast. It's not very fast paced at the beginning, but it gets fast paced. So I would only recommend it to people that have a lot of time on their hands, that are really bored and are just chilling, just gonna be like, oh, I need a book to read. What book do I read? Oh, The Stand. Just take it with me everywhere I go. Quick reading. So it's really, really nice. I like that about it. It's very small. Okay, so that's about my review. If you have any questions, post it in the comments. I will respond to your comment 100%. If I don't, you can come to my house. You can give me a call. Do something like that. And I'm not telling. Don't do that. But that's pretty much my review. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, click the like button, subscribe down there, and tell me what you liked of the video. Tell me what you hated. And thank you for watching. I'm going to be doing another review soon, so see you now.